There was a ninja boy called Drago. He could run super fast, jump really high and break bricks with his hands. Drago lived with his mummy, daddy and Freya. Freya could sing and dance and paint pictures. She was pretty, but there was a problem. Freya had red mist in her heart. It had got there when they were living in a cave, and there were scary men living there too. The little family weren't safe. Freya had been so hurt and so scared that the red mist of the scary men had got into her heart and mind. Sometimes the red mist would get stirred up in Freya's heart, and when that happened, she would shoot fireballs at Drago, Mum and Dad. Drago was too small to protect himself. He was so very scared, so frightened. Mum and Dad tried to protect him and themselves, but the red mist was too much for them. Much as they tried, they weren't strong enough. When the red mist came, sometimes Mum would get sad. Drago didn't like it when Mum was sad. It frightened him. He wanted Mum to be there, to be okay, to take care of him. Sometimes Mum would get scared. It really frightened Drago when Mum was scared. If Mum was scared, then it really couldn't be safe. He couldn't switch off and play with his toys or break his bricks. He was too busy watching for the red mist and watching if Mum thought it was safe. Sometimes Mum and Dad would get angry with the mist, and sometimes that even looked like being angry with Freya. Drago didn't like it when they were angry. It felt like when he was back in the cave when he was little. And no matter how strong and angry they were, the red mist was angrier and stronger. It all felt hopeless. How would it end? One day, Mum and Dad broke. All the mist fighting was too much. They couldn't do it anymore. It scared Drago to see them broke. Though it made everyone sad, it was decided that Mum and Dad needed a break from fighting the mist. Since no one had managed to get the mist out of Freya's heart yet, the only way to give them a break from the mist was to have Freya stay somewhere else. So Freya went to stay with Auntie Anya. Drago gave a big sigh of relief. Mum and Dad gave a big sigh of relief. Though they were all so sad because they loved Freya, it was such a relief not to have to fight the mist anymore. Then it was time for Freya to return. But Mum and Dad still felt broken, so tired, so worried. They just weren't strong enough to face the mist again. With heavy hearts, Mum and Dad decided that it needed to be someone else who didn't have a Drago to look after to fight the mist for Freya. It was too hard to fight Freya's mist while also protecting Drago from it. So they decided, even though they all loved Freya, and always would, that it was better for her to live somewhere else. Drago had so many feelings about this. First, he felt relieved. He didn't always have to be looking at Freya, trying to figure out if the red mist was coming. He was free to play and learn, and that felt good. Then he felt bad that it felt good, because he loved Freya. He didn't like feeling guilty. It was horrid and hard. He knew it was the right thing for Freya not to be there, but he still felt bad inside. He felt sad because he missed Freya. He still loved her. He felt worried for Freya. He was worried about where she would go and live. What if she ended up living so far away that he couldn't see her often? That made him really sad. He had a friend once who had moved really far away, and although they'd promised to keep in touch, they hadn't. Drago worried it might be the same with Freya. He wanted to see her often. He was worried that the people who looked after her might not be good mist fighters. He wondered if anyone could help her when Mum and Dad couldn't. He felt pleased that Mum wasn't getting so sad, so worried and angry anymore. He felt bad that because he was around, it had been harder for Mum and Dad to fight the mist. They were busy looking after him. He felt guilty that he'd stayed and she'd gone. He felt confused. He didn't like the not knowing where Freya was going to live. Not knowing is really hard for everyone. It doesn't feel nice. Poor Drago. He felt such different things, it was confusing. Boys, and girls too, aren't meant to manage feelings alone. So Drago sorted through his feelings with Mum. Some feelings she could make better, and some feelings she couldn't, but just feeling them with her so he wasn't alone helped. So Drago learnt that he could live with his feelings and take them to Mum when he needed help with them. And now he was free to learn, to play and to enjoy life, no longer bothered by the red mist. And in case you're wondering, yes, he still got to see Freya. And what happened to her? Well, Freya's story is another story for another day. The end.